This is Python's Paradise, and this is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena. I'm also a co-producer on 13 Fanboy, Victim No More, and involved in a variety of other projects. And here we are, January the 18th, 2021. Getting a little new with this whole Zoom thing, but I believe my sixth guest so far this year, and we're in January. Not bad, and I'm hoping to keep things going. But I got a return guest. Yes, Saturday I had Scotty McCoy on for his fifth time, and he did a film called Samhain, and the killer Relic. Well, I got the guy who played him on for the second time, and boy, he's got a cool head of hair, a nice beard, kind of reminds me of Troy Elke a little bit, or maybe a little bit of the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Folks, I give you the wonderfully talented and very stunt coordinated Brett Harris. How do you do, Brett?
Thanks, Greg. I'm doing good. How about you?
Oh, I love your backdrop, man.
Yeah, you got to keep it real.
But your hair and your beard distracts from all that.
Yeah, I get noticed pretty quick when I walk into a room.
Yeah. First off, I want to start off by thanking you for doing the Doubtfire Face Challenge for suicide and depression awareness.
Oh, that was an honor for me. I was glad to do it.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't start that, but when I grew up with that kind of humor, so when the Ice Bucket Challenge did so well, I was like, let's see if we can get this going, because depression is something that's just not taken seriously enough. And well, Scotty was game for it, and I think Amanda Sawyer, I think she should do hers again. She only did a little
Yeah,
bit of whipped cream. I said, and even Scotty agrees. She needs
yeah,
to
she
do it.
kind of phoned that one in.
Yeah, she needs to do it again, I think. But the Tyler Ebert one was great.
Yeah, that
Did
was
you?
funny.
Oh, gee, his sister kept laughing at him behind me. He finally got fed up and stuffed the rest of the pie in her face. I got a kick out of that one. But yours were great. You had your kids do the honors for you.
Yeah, I always try to have my family involved in all of the stuff that I'm doing. It was
You,
pretty funny. My youngest daughter,
yeah.
right towards the end of it, you could see her starting to lick the whipped cream out of the pan when we were done.
How many kids you have besides
I have,
Scotty?
yeah, I have four. I have a 26-year-old daughter from my first marriage.
Mm-hmm.
My son's 13. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and then I have the 5-year-old daughter.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's great. It's crazy around me. I actually have a granddaughter that's older than my daughter.
Well, well, I gotta say, I'm honored to have you back on the show. Before we talk anything about Sam Hain, I know you're big in stunts and whatnot. How are you doing with that during the whole pandemic right now?
Um, well, last year I didn't really do a whole lot last year. I'm hoping to break things out a little bit more this year. Uh, I of course wasn't doing much at all while we were filming the movie. Scotty didn't want me getting hurt, so I was taking it easy through that. But it's actually looking pretty good for this year. I have a couple of sponsors, some big names: Skull Candy Audio, GoPro cameras, Elusive gloves, X brand goggles, Slick products, cleaning products. I have. I'm doing an ambassador program with Raise Energy and Rep Sports, and of course, I'm an ambassador and champion rider for the Great Cycle Challenge to raise money to help fight kids' cancer.
Oh,
So I have a busy
fantastic.
year.
Fantastic, fantastic. You know, you said Scotty McCoy didn't want you taking risks. What were you doing on set when was in his underwear? That's taking a risk.
I tried to stay back as far away from that shot as I could.
I gotta talk about that one scene, because Scotty has told me before this interview, because I used to laugh. Like, he's got such a great relationship with his parents. And of course, he's living in an apartment and stuff now, but I used to see pictures of him online laying in bed on top of his bed with just his boxers on. And of course,
Yeah.
either his mother or his father would take these pictures, and the next day they'd be on Facebook. And it was just this joke thing that they did. They weren't inappropriate pictures or anything like that. It was just this really jokey relationship they had. And you could tell they have a very loving unit going on. But Scotty told me he had a pair of boxers with his face all over them. I'm like, I never heard of that. I would never do it myself. I'm like, Scotty, why you got your face all over your underwear for? Um,
Yeah, that was
but
something. That shot kind of got lost. They should have zoomed in on them so you could actually see what they looked like. But nobody really wants to zoom in on that part of Scotty. So
well, I heard that well, watching the movie, Tyler Ebert did a take right into the camera on that one.
yeah.
But I hassle Amanda Sawyer a lot about this scene to the point where she said, "No more Scotty McCoy and his boxers on my friends." And I'm like, "Come on, you had a near traumatizing experience."
No, that wasn't near. That was one of the ones that got cut that didn't work, man. He was right there. She all but had her nose in his butt. He
Oh
bent
yeah, I
over
heard
right
about
at
that.
him.
Yeah, I bet you that's a telemarketer calling on my phone right now because that's my landlord line, and I never pick it up because of that. That'll probably ring some 16 to 18 times too.
Your
They don't
car
take.
insurance, your car
Yeah.
warranty.
Oh, gee, only 4. Ooh, wow. Yeah, I still got that phone because I got it for my birthday one year, years and years ago. I must have had it for some 20 years. Forgot from mom and dad, and it's like now it's like the telemarketers attack. So I usually just use my cell phone now. So, but yeah, I still got one of those landlines, but I'm not even sure if I remember my number. But nonetheless, yeah, Amanda, she said she wasn't acting during that scene. But this scene right here doesn't seem to happen in the movie.
There was a promo photo shoot that we did before the movie,
Yeah,
and Scotty took a lot of pictures from that and was using them before we actually started shooting the movie.
yeah.
There's a lot of pictures out there that were taken before the movie. That was
This,
actually when I almost had my first kill.
did
We,
you
we
not like pull her hair through that fence?
no, we were actually shooting at a place in it's Centralia, the
Mm-hmm.
place where they did Silent Hill after. We did the photo shoot there, and there was always people coming and walking around there and everything, looking at it and all. Well, they had me running around in full costume in the woods with the knife and everything. Well, here, some lady, one of the visitors, there people come from out of state and all over. Well, she came up over to one hill and saw me coming out of the bushes from one of the shots they were taking.
Yeah.
She started screaming. She turned around. She ran right out in the middle of the road. All you hear her screaming, car brakes going, squealing and stuff. I thought, oh my God, I just killed somebody for real. Yeah, we didn't really, we were just walking around taking pictures and stuff, and everybody else is just kind of looking at it, and they didn't have any idea what was going on. But yeah, that lady got scared and ran out in the middle of the road. I was like, oh, we're done before we even start.
Yeah, was she as traumatized as Amanda during the Scotty Boxer scene?
Probably not, but she was pretty bad.
Yeah, they had you done up with I'll be frank, there's a lot wrong with this movie, but you were not one of the wrong things.
Well, I'm glad to hear that
And
because I Scotty gave me a lot of leeway to let me kind of make that character my own. So I did a lot of changes to Relic as we were going through.
yeah, well, Scotty still talks to me, he's still on my show. He still talks to me, but I told him, I said that there's a lot of issues I had with it, but I don't have any issues with you in it, though. He's got you with the clown mask, which kind of strikes me as a Halloween, um,
Yeah.
even with the jumpsuit, a little bit of Halloween there with Michael Myers, although the clown mask from the beginning of the original film. but I do love the long hair. I do think you
Uh,
got a great look to you. I gotta say that.
yeah, he originally had wanted me to shave for it too, and we compromised with me keeping the long goatee. But I told him
Don't
when I saw the
ever,
mask.
sh- don't ever shave that.
No, when I saw the mask, I told him, I said, I think it'd be better to keep the beard because you have that. At the time, The Walking Dead was going big, and the character Beta had that same look. I was like, if anything, we could at least get away from the Halloween type stuff for a little bit and try to get the resemblance of another popular character in it too. That would maybe with the pictures, since I was going to be on the front of everything, throw a little something different at them.
Yeah.
So he let me keep the beard.
No, you should keep the beard. Like, I mean, I say this complimentary. It's a good look for you. It makes you
On the
stand out. Yeah.
Yeah, on the stunt side of it, that's actually the beard is a part of my gimmick. It's my wife does artwork and stuff, so she does all my artwork and everything, and she draws little cartoon characters on me, and the beard is a big part of those cartoon
Yep.
characters.
Yep. It's just like I'm looking over there. I got a lot of those old LGN wrestling action figures over there, And if you look at, say, Randy Savage, you can't picture him unlike what he was. He
Yeah,
had his hair was longer. He always had the bandana or something on his head. He had those glasses, and he had the beard. If he took all that off, it would really distract you from, So,
uh-huh.
yep, like when you got your own I even say this about Scotty McCoy. Scotty McCoy has his own look, and most of it's smiling while he's at work, which he's the only one I know of that does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Scotty's got his own look. And as I mentioned, I don't know if you know Troy Elke, who's involved with 13 Fanboy, but
I have seen pictures of them
yeah, I
within
told
the
Troy.
Facebook realms.
Yeah. Well, Troy, I said, don't ever shave that beard. Of course, his head shaved on top, but I said, don't ever shave it. It's your own look. And sometimes your look goes a long way in marketing yourself. It's kind of a good shortcut.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So I'm telling you, if Scotty ever tells you to shave that again,
Yeah,
paintbrush him.
I'll tell him. Yeah,
Yeah.
yo, Greg told me to do this. Hold still.
But it did work for the character, though. I mean, you had the mask on. It actually went with it. You did a lot of laughing in it, and I don't know whether it was laughing in the film or just laughing because you saw Scotty. What was your favorite part to shoot?
Oh man, there was a lot of stuff, but I'd have to say going through everything. Like I said, I always like to involve my family and everything.
Hmm.
And we had an actor drop out late, and my son Gage actually got to be a part in the movie. So my part with him had to have been my favorite because it was cool being together with him again. He was actually only, I guess, 2.5 years old when he shot his first full length YouTube stunt video with me.
Two and a
So me and
half.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, he's been a part of everything I did. So it was really cool being able to have him in the movie with me.
I've only watched this once. Was he the one that was jogging at night?
Yes, he was
Oh,
jogger,
there you go. Okay.
the jogger slash body. Yeah, I kept him around for a little while.
Well, why not your oldest daughter? Why can't she get in these?
She was thinking about it, but she has a family of her own and everything, and she has a
Well,
couple of
that
kids
isn't
and
that
stuff.
enough of the stunt?
She di- she didn't really get into that much of the stuff with me. I mean, she likes the zombies. We do like a lot of the zombie mud runs and stuff like that together. But she's tied down pretty much at home for the other stuff.
Oh well. I'll say this though. That scene was great. I gotta say, I saw a kill in that movie I'd never seen before. The girl's face in the cereal. I never seen that before.
That one, there was a good story behind that one too.
Okay.
I it was a pretty good kill with drowning her in the cereal. the cereal that they used, they didn't tell me much about it, and I was I was trying I was trying to keep everything that I did a secret until I would actually do it.
I
And
heard the story.
that way the actors really wouldn't know what I was going to do, and you would get legitimate stuff from them. But
Yeah.
nobody told me that that cereal was stale as hell and about 3 years old. So I go and reach into the box. I grabbed a big handful of it and shoved it in my mouth. I almost choked to death on it. I couldn't believe it. It took me a little bit to swallow it down. That was rough. I almost killed myself with cereal in that scene.
Scotty told me that on Saturday that he said that you gave like a cough or something
Yeah, I
afterwards.
was
He said,
coughing for real.
"Did you
I thought
choke?
we were gonna have to. I
Did
thought
you
we were gonna
choke?
have to take a break.
Did you have a choking session with Scotty after that?"
I was just like, man, somebody could have warned me. That was rough.
Yeah, Scotty thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was. Once I got it all out of my lungs, it was all right. But man, that was a tough couple of minutes. That scene was pretty legit.
It would have been interesting. I know when they go to the window and they first, and they say it dialogue wise, and I know it's a low budget film, so obviously they can't show everything, but they're saying, there's this guy dragging this girl by her hair past the cemetery. I wish they could have shown that.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was. I mean, there was a lot. Well, as I was watching it, there was some stuff that didn't make it or didn't show up on camera the way that we expected it to. But for what we had, it came out all right.
Because all they would have had to have done is have Amanda's hands clutching your arm.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you're probably strong enough to drag her.
yeah. There was a
So
lot more with the fire that I wanted to do at the end too.
yeah. Was there stuff that you wanted to do that didn't get shot?
Um, there was more stuff I had actually wanted to have. I know I'm not a full on stuntman or anything like that, but there's little stuff that I could do. And I
Yeah.
actually wanted to have a bigger fire at the end. And where I jumped over the fire, it looked really lame with the little tiny fire, and I jump over it at the end. I wanted to
Okay.
have a bigger I wanted to have a bigger fire at the end and come through the bigger fire and kind of like slow-mo it on the opposite side where you could see the flames coming off of me and stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, there was a lot of different things that I wanted to try to do, but just never made it.
Yeah. Was it because of why would they not do that?
The whole thing kind of just seemed rushed. I mean, I don't know why it was. There was problems, I guess, with trying to get everybody coordinated to
Mhm.
be able to do the shots and get everybody there because everybody was on different schedules. Um, my schedule was hard. I work weekends. They filmed on weekends. I work weekends. So every time I was filming, I had to take off work. My wife works too, so we were juggling our schedules around. Everybody else was juggling their schedules. I guess it was just hard to get everybody together, and they wanted to try to get everything done when they had everybody.
Yeah, yeah, that's unfortunate. Scotty was talking about doing a reboot on a type of reboot on I call it Sam Hain. He calls it Salem, but I
Yeah,
call it Sam
he
Hain.
he gets
But
mad if any of us call it Sam Hain. We got to
I
call
call
it Salwen.
yeah, but there's no Ellen there. I mean, just Sam Haines. That's right there
Yeah.
on the thing. Like that's what I always call it. Oh well. But he said they'd love to have you back to do Relic. Would you be open to that?
Oh yeah, I'm game for it. Um, he was saying about going a little bit farther back in the backstory with it a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to calm him down a little bit on that because one of the things that I was a little bit slow on was the backstory with Relic. Because,
Okay.
like I said, I have with me doing the athlete stuff, I do have sponsors I'm under a contract with, so I have to make sure I stay within their boundaries. I
Yeah.
do the work for the kids with children's cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the stuff that he wants to do is a little more on the darker side. So I want to try to keep him calm on that. But yeah, I'm up for doing it again.
Oh yeah.
Now with everything that we learned from the first one and having a budget that we can maybe actually do some of the stuff that I wanted to do in the first one, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, Scotty is I'm very glad he's come the way way he has, because it's weird. I've interviewed him 5 times. The last 5 years I've had him on my show, and it's interesting listening to those interviews, one after the other, how far Scotty is. Of course, I've come a long way myself, but Scotty, he's I just hit up with him on Facebook through horror groups, and then he went to doing his trivia books, and the one he wrote for on his dad, Christ Defeats Cancer, and now he's got this movie, and now he's doing other movies. I actually put him in touch with um, Noelle Berger and Bobby Heckman, because I knew they'd be a good fit for each other for other projects. But what's it like working with Scotty on?
Oh, it was fun. Like I said, he left me had a lot of leeway with the characters, so it was fun pitching my ideas to him, listening to how he wanted it. And I know it's hard for anybody that's creative to come up with something like that. He came up with that script. That script was his baby. And
Hmm.
then I'm basically a nobody. And I come in like, yeah, we got to change this, got to change this. I'd rather do it this way. I want to do it this way. Like I wasn't supposed to talk. I was supposed to be silent like Michael Myers.
Hmm.
And you could actually tell in some of the scenes before I actually finally got to him and he left me start talking. And
Hmm.
we shot everything out of order too, which made it kind of difficult. But when we first started shooting, there were a couple of scenes where I wasn't talking. And then later on, I started being kind of a smartass, which was a lot more fun. But he did it was fun working with him because he lets you put your ideas in, and then you come to a compromise as to how it's going to fit, make sure it stays with the storyline. And it was good. It was fun working with him.
Scotty did mention he in particular, but there's a lot of people had some issues with the director.
Yeah, that was one of the areas where everything kind of got rushed.
Yeah, yeah.
There were a couple of different things like the scene with me and my son I wasn't real happy with because the two of us took a big hit of dish detergent and red food dye on that, and you don't see it anywhere on camera.
Oh wow.
We both got blasted with that because the idea was that during his scene he was going to spit a bunch of it right into my face. Well, the
Okay.
angle that we were at, it was another fun one because it's me and him doing it. But the
Yeah.
angle that I had him at while I was squeezing him, I had my head up in the air and he had his head pointed down. And when he spit it right into my mouth too. So like two of us were spitting out of this, walking around. Oh man, it was like, but then it was too dark. You couldn't see it in the movie. Oh man, that was lost because that was a good scene.
So when the other actor dropped out, was it you that suggested your son?
Um, Scotty had actually asked me if he could do it because, like I said, Gage he's been in a lot of stuff with me.
Okay.
I was doing YouTube for a long time, and me and
Hmm.
him are actually in a video that's pushing close to 1 million views now. We did a cameo in one, so he has
Okay.
some cred behind him. And Scotty had asked if he wanted to do it, and this was another area where Scotty was great because he left me and Gage write that scene. We came up with what was going to go down on that.
Oh,
So it
perfect.
was a last minute throwing him in, and then me and Gage pretty much wrote the scene ourselves.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Well, it takes a lot off of other people when you can write your own stuff.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's fun doing that because, like I said, most of my stuff was ad lib, so nobody ever really knew what I was going to do. So there
Uh,
were some scenes where even I didn't know what I was going to do until we got into it.
I'm actually glad that you got to talk in it. I think it added to your character. Um, I think it's great to do homages to other movies. They did a lot of Michael Myers stuff with you, but I'm glad you were able to talk because you don't want to be a Michael Myers clone. You want to be your own
Yeah,
person, and I'm glad that you were able to talk. And like I said, I'm glad you didn't shave your goatee either. Like I think it made it your own. I think that's important.
Yeah, it actually made the character look pretty scary. A
Yep.
lot of people commented on that.
Did you go to the premiere?
Yes, I was at the premiere and I was at all 4 showings in Pottsville. I'm originally from Pottsville, so I got to go back to my hometown, hang out with all my buddies for the movie run that it did there. There was
What
4
was
showings at the Majestic Theater in Pottsville.
what was it like?
It was fun. I had a blast. I mean, it was cool. The first night that we were there, I was in costume, and we were there Halloween night. I was in costume, so I got to run around having fun on the streets of Pottsville, causing problems, just like when I was a teenager again.
Did your family see it as well?
My dad and my dad and both of my sisters saw it. Yeah, my mom's not much into horror movies. She didn't want nothing to do with it.
Oh,
Horror
really?
movies, horror movies and f bombs. She's not into that. She really wouldn't have liked that one.
Oh my goodness. That's a bummer. What about your wife and your kids?
Oh yeah, they seen it. My youngest one loved it. The one scene where I do the tickle tickle thing. She was running around forever doing that. She'll come up and poke you in the ribs. Tickle tickle. You're not laughing.
Yeah. Did you grow up loving horror films?
Yeah. I always liked horror movies. I'm not like I wouldn't say I like a diehard fan of it or anything like that, but it was always something I was really interested in.
Do you have any favorite movies? Like
Um,
overall?
Friday the 13th when Kane Hodder came in. Something that he did with it. I mean, I like Friday the 13th. I'm a big hockey guy,
Hmm.
so when I seen a killer running around with a hockey mask on, that got me. That got my attention real quick right there. But
I
then
gotta
when
say
Kane,
this, the best Jason to me was Ted White in the fourth one, the final chapter. That to me was Jason at his best because I think he was the most menacing and the most scary was in that fourth movie.
yeah,
Yep. I
I
gotta
just I like Kane Hodder. One of the shows that I watched before was the TV show Chips, and Kane Hodder, of course, had his first big problems while he was doing that show. So that was like almost actually when I first got introduced to him as a kid. And then when he came in as Jason, I was like, yeah, that's the one.
hmm
Well, I've been a Kane Hodder fan forever.
I've actually interviewed Larry Wilcox from Chips.
I've listened to that interview a couple of times.
Yeah, my mom was quite proud of that one that I got Larry Wilcox. I'd never seen Chips when I was young, um, but mom was familiar with it. So,
Yeah, my dad was actually a motorcycle police officer in my hometown, Pottsville. So
hmm
I was into the cop shows.
yeah, but but yeah, no, Kane Hodder is great. Yeah, um, he's actually involved in a couple projects that I'm involved with. Actually, he's gonna be in 13 Fanboy, which
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
a
following along
co-producer
with
on.
that one.
Yep. And Hearts of Darkness, the making of the final Friday. He's involved in that documentary, which there's some stuff that needs to be filmed for it, but there's going to be a lot of questions answered during that. So my only question is why they made Jason X. That was horrible.
Yeah, you run out of places to go eventually.
They should have did Jason in the snow. And
That one would have been good. I did see somebody did a fan film on that one.
yeah, Vincent DeSante. And Vincent DeSante is terrific. He did Never Hike Alone. But
Yeah, and
I'm gonna say this though. Tom McLaughlin, who directed the sixth film, Jason Lives, he's got a script all ready to go. That once this lawsuit gets settled, he's got a script all ready to go that's gonna be set in the snow. So I hope, I think Jason Lives is probably the best one of the franchise. So I don't know. I hope he gets to make it. But nonetheless, what other projects do you have coming up? You got any other film projects?
Um, Samhain 2 is the only one really. We just did that the Friday the 13th Dead Before Dusk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw that one Scotty did.
Yeah,
Well, actually,
I
Amanda
saw that.
directed that one. That one was fun because I got to do something where I wasn't the killer. I got to show a little bit more acting,
I
and then
think that
I had my son in that one too,
yeah, I
and
think
my
uh,
stepson got to be a part of that one.
I think Amanda should have played Jason.
That wouldn't be a bad idea for somebody to throw out there. Actually, have a
I don't know.
female copycat.
I can't stop making fun of her. That's just I do it online all the time. Look, she almost had a face to face with Scotty's boxer ass crack. I I'm sorry, she's opened herself up, even if it was unintentional. uh, Nonetheless, you've done a lot of stunts. I know you don't label yourself a stunt person, but you do have your YouTube. What's the most, I don't know whether I say dangerous or difficult stunt you've done?
The most difficult one, I would say, and it was pretty dangerous too. Probably my ATV surfing stunt.
Mm-hmm.
I had actually started doing it on dry land, where I would just jump up and surf on the ATV.
Mm-hmm.
But then I took it to water to really make it look like surfing. I hit maybe like second or third gear on the quad, headed towards a deep puddle, and jump up on the seat and act like I was surfing. And then when the quad would hit the water, all the water would splash up over top of me, and it would really look like I was surfing. But I never actually really knew where the front tires were going to go or if I was going to stay on it. It was a pretty tricky one. There was one time where I did go over the handlebars and the quad rolled over top of me and pinned me under the water. I had to bench press the quad to get I almost drowned under the quad. So
Oh
that one was
my.
that one was pretty tight. But I did get a ATV UTV Action magazine. I got a People's Choice Award for the stunt no one else wants to try for doing
People's
that.
Choice Award. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so that was pretty cool. I got an award for that one.
You got that right there around where you are?
Um, I do not. It was in one of the magazines. I had it posted several times on my pages. I'll have to dig it up and post it on one of my pages for you to check out.
Yes, absolutely. I've heard of the People's Choice Awards. I've watched them a few times. That must have been interesting,
Well,
winning
it
an
was a
award.
it was more or less just a write up in the magazine, like the year end magazine. They do different votes on things, pictures that were in the magazine throughout the
Hmm.
year and stuff.
So, how did you find out that you were getting go be up for that?
I actually had one of my buddies had bought the magazine in the store, and he called me and he told me, he said, "Hey, you're in the magazine. Check this out." Now I knew I had put that picture in the magazine earlier. I submitted it to them for one of their readers' ride pictures,
Uh
and
huh.
that was where they picked it from for the award.
Oh wow, I think that's fantastic. So, do you got any stunts that you got coming up that you're working on?
I
Or,
had given it was getting harder and harder to find places around in my area to ride an ATV. Actually, all the grounds bought up. You got to buy permits, this and that, and everything else.
mm-hmm.
So I had switched, knocking my camera over. I had switched. I switched over to riding BMX bikes,
Mm-hmm.
and now I have a mini BMX bike that I ride. So I will be doing stunts and tricks on a mini BMX bike this year.
Okay. Is that less a challenge than before, or is this a
It
new?
is. It's actually harder than what I thought it was going to be. I thought, oh man,
Okay.
going from an ATV to this little bike, I should have no problems with that. But yeah, it's pretty tough because I'm a big guy and I got to get all my weight centered over this little bike. The balance thing's been a real issue for me. I'm on the ground more than I'm on the bike.
Yeah. Well, what's it been like? Like you live somewhere handy in Scotty's area, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What's the COVID situation like there right now?
It's pretty tough. We're not under a complete lockdown, but the bars and stuff and the restaurants are all takeout.
Yeah, sucks. We were in yellow phase here, and then after Christmas we went into orange, and it's like, like it doesn't make sense to me that small businesses are closed, but yet the bigger business corporations are open. You would think with more people at those places that would be the opposite.
Yeah, and my wife and I, we don't get a break. We're both. She works in a grocery store and I work in a warehouse, so we're working the whole time.
I've
We
been
got lucky
working.
there at least
Yeah.
anyway.
Actually, it's interesting because I work as a cleaner. So I've worked through the whole thing. I haven't ran into anybody that has COVID. I'm not a conspiracy theorist saying that it doesn't exist or it's all the government. I'm pretty sure it does. But as far as I go, this has been more an inconvenience over my podcasts than anything. I was told to do the Zoom, and my brother slash manager, more techie than me, he set this up for me. So far, this has been great. I can plan these interviews on my time as opposed to try to book them through the station, which is great.
Yeah,
So I could do this whenever, but it's been the station's still closed, and you would think there wouldn't be any more than at most 5 people in there, but because it's on campus, causes me to roll my eyes. But I just got to the point where I had 30 interviews in 2020. I was doing so well, and then this happened. And I had like 30 people waiting to come on my show.
yeah, yeah. It put
So,
a halt to a lot of stuff.
well, everybody's been very understanding. So I'm hoping I can get everybody I've had on wait. I'm slowly reaching out to people, but you weren't one of the ones I had on wait. But it kind of occurred to me like I'd interviewed you last year in January, and I was like, I need to get an update on Brett, especially your condition after the whole Scotty boxer scene. Yeah, I don't know why. Was that that must have been your biggest stunt witnessing that?
Yeah, we did have some good ones in there though. I put a lot of stuff in. Two out of the four nerds were kind of bigger than me, so I decided that Relic was going to have to get beat around a little bit to make it look a little bit more realistic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I like the fact that the more you get beat, it's almost like that Relic enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Wouldn't matter how many times he got beat around, he'd come back. um it's just like I used to watch wrestling. They used to say about Greg the Hammer Valentine, they used to say the more you beat on him, the more he enjoys it. Kind of
yeah,
the same thing with Relic, especially since he laughed a lot.
uh-huh.
Was that your idea?
That I came when Scotty first said, he told me that that was going to be a big part of the getting the role, was going to be the right laugh. And I had actually came up with that. I didn't know what to do with it, and I was practicing, and everything sounded really lame. Well, I was doing a workout the one day, all jacked up on pre-workout and everything, and I was going crazy. And I just thought, I got to do this and get it over with. And I just got up and I kind of went, "Rah," and I growled, and then I let the laugh loose, and I was like, "That's it, I got it finally." But it was hard to keep it going because it was a tough laugh.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're going to be in the next Sam Hain movie. I hope he brings everybody back. Hope he still traumatizes Amanda and
We got to get a close up of those boxers for you for the next one.
with Amanda in the same frame.
Yeah.
What was it like working with Amanda?
Um, Again, it was fun, and surprisingly, we didn't have a whole lot of scenes together. I think, oh man, like maybe only two or three altogether. But the last scene that we did was that one was pretty good. That one got pretty intense too. We almost actually landed in the fire on that one. We got a
Well,
little closer than we wanted to.
for that Friday the 13th short film, what was she like as a director?
She was pretty good. She was pretty clear on what she wanted on everything. She made it easy for us as actors to just go give it because there wasn't any really guessing on like what we're supposed to do. But
Mhm.
I got lucky on that one because the Randy and Eric parts that I did for me and my son,
Mhm.
I pretty much rewrote them and we did our own thing with them too to make them a little bit fit in. I thought the way we did them fit in a little bit better than what was originally written for them.
Mhm.
And talking to Amanda, working that out with her and everything, she was pretty clear on what
Yeah.
it was easy.
Well, you know, I gotta ask one more person is Tyler Ebert. You know, I thought Tyler Ebert was pretty funny in Sam Hain. He kept insulting uh, the mother of the Scotty McCoy character. It's like I said, who does that?
I said that I was supposed to be the killer in the movie and I was supposed to be the bad guy, but he was actually the bad guy. He was worse than me in a lot of respects.
Yeah, he. But I got to admit, it was entertaining.
It was. He was fun. And the second night that we did the movie in Pottsville was his birthday,
Hmm.
and he was there with me, so we got to have fun. We were clowning around during the showing of it. I had him up on stage and do happy birthday for him and stuff. It was fun. He's a good
Yeah.
kid, man. We had a blast.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you know what? I enjoyed having you on today. Is there anything else you want to promote on here before we sign off?
I don't know. I think I pretty much hit it all. Facebook and Instagram, you can find me at Real Danger Dude. All of my stuff I post on those two, mostly on Facebook more than Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram's a lot of live as I'm going along, but everything goes to Facebook. At Real Danger Dude, you'll find all of the stuff I'm doing, working on the movies, all of the
Hmm.
stunts, the tricks, my Great Cycle Challenge.
Yep. Danger Dude. Now, was that easy to come up with?
It was actually. It's kind of an Easter egg, and there's an Easter egg in the movie of it too, where I kind of, when I took my son, I kind of put my hands up and I did the horns. Uh, one of my favorite, one of my favorite cartoons is Kick Batowski on Disney XD, and his nickname is Danger Dude. And
Okay.
a lot of the artwork that my wife did of me, she drew pictures of me in like Kick Batowski form. So it's kind of cool.
Fantastic. Well, you know what? I'm glad you're still working and keeping busy while this whole, I'm going to say it, shitstorm is going on out there, And so I'm glad you got an income coming in. I do as well, but we're all hoping that things get back in order. And yeah, keep me informed of any projects you got coming up, so we can further promote. Um, Before we sign off, do you got any charities or anything you want to plug on here?
The Great Cycle Challenge. It goes to the Children's Cancer Research Fund,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure when I'm going to be riding this year, but I do have my page active right now. It is www.greatcyclechallenge.com/riders/Brett Harris.
You need to get one of those passenger buckets on the side. You could stick Scotty or Amanda on the side and
That would be fun.
film that just to see how they'd react. You gotta do it in relic costume?
I don't know. That relic costume's pretty tight under wraps. I don't have a hold of that too often. I almost had to beg Scotty for it just to get it to go to the movie shows.
Oh,
He
jeepers.
keeps
Just
that tight.
Scott, you just walk over, Scotty. That's no problem. Tell him
Well,
he can have an extra couple hours to smile at work.
we got to take care of that mask. I don't know what would happen if we broke that. They'll be gluing it to my face instead of the strap.
Oh, gee. Did you guys break it?
No, it's still in one piece, but it was getting a little dried out towards the end. It was a little uncomfortable around the eyes toward the end. Once we started getting all the blood and everything on it.
You know, it would be a good idea if push comes to shove, is maybe go with a different type of mask in the second one. Maybe you have a scene where,
Mhm.
the mask gets broken and he finds another mask at whatever location he's at.
I actually had a lot of people when we were doing that photo shoot before we did the movie.
Hmm.
I was in a pair of white pants and a white tank top without the mask, and most of the people thought that was actually a cooler look. So
Yep.
I don't know what way he's going to go with this because it started out with him escaping from the asylum and he found the mask and the jumpsuit later on. But I
Maybe
had a lot
he'll
of people say they thought the other look was pretty good.
maybe he'll give you a Scotty mask.
Yeah. Well, actually in the beginning of the movie, I'm not wearing the mask. That was the look. That was the look that everybody was kind of after.
Well, you know what? Thumbs up to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Brett, I'm very happy to have you on here today for the second time. Um, I know you got your downtime there because your kids are at school, so you can,
Yeah.
that's got to be the biggest stunt taking care of 4 kids. Of course, I know one's out. Actually, you
Oh,
got two that.
they're a handful. I have
Yeah.
3 here with me.
Oh, you got 3 there with you.
Yeah.
There's your stunt.
Yeah.
See, I just have my cat, and that's all the stunt I can handle. Yeah. Well, you know what? I bid you a good day. I thank you so much for coming on here. I wish you the very best on everything you're doing. And yeah, you take control of that relic character. After all, he's the one that puts fate on everybody in that series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
So
for having me.
I'm
And
glad,
I'm
huh?
looking forward to a third time maybe after we get this next one rolling.
Well, you keep I always watch what people are doing on Facebook, so I'll keep a look on what you're doing, and yeah, maybe next year this time I'll have you back again.
Sounds like a plan.
We'll see. We'll see. Um, I reached out to you today because I seen this movie, and I thought for the second thing, any updates on what you're doing. So I that was I pretty much was behind why I messaged you right suddenly because your name was on the list for January. Like I post for the anniversaries and this and that. So I was like, okay, I should get an update on Brett Harris.
Yeah, I'm still plugging along.
There you go. Well, folks, this is Python signing out. Best of luck to my guest, Brett Harris, Samhain, Relic, and of course, Scotty McCoy's stunt guy. You're not going to double him, though, are you?
uh, he's he's kind of my boss when we get back into this, so I got to be somewhat nice to him. He can do some nasty stuff to me later on if he wants to.
He
I
can't
might
do
be
anything.
I might I might be the one in the boxer scene. I don't want to have that happen.
I spent spent most of the interview yesterday trying to give him ideas how to torment Amanda. I'm sure she'll love that. I bid you a good day. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for having me on. I'm honored.
All right. You take care and God
All right. You
bless.
too, Greg.
Yep. Yep. Bye.